federal judge blocking Trump's order to end birthright citizenship. This after the Supreme Court's recent ruling restricting lower courts from having the power to do that. The New Hampshire federal judge granting class action lawsuit for children threatened by the order. The Trump administration has 7 days to appeal. Cody Wolfsey, an attorney representing the plaintiffs, had this to say after the ruling.
This is going to protect every single child around the country from this lawless, unconstitutional, and cruel executive order.
The White House responding, White House spokesperson Harrison Fields releasing a statement saying the ruling is, quote, an obvious and unlawful attempt to circumvent the Supreme Court's clear order against universal relief. And the Trump administration will be fighting vigorously against the attempts of these rogue district court judges to impede the policies President Trump was elected to implement.
Yeah, so the latest in the birthright citizenship case, again, not a ruling on the merits of birthright citizenship. That will almost certainly come from the Supreme Court. But what is interesting about this is, of course, the Supreme Court did rule on the validity of nationwide injunctions. And they effectively said that in order to have a protected class of people, you have to do a class action lawsuit in order to have an injunction that spans beyond the direct plaintiffs in the case. So that's what the ACLU did here. They found a class of people that they said would be disparately impacted by the ending of birthright citizenship and took it to a federal judge who then issued the stay. I think there's a couple of things that the left should be concerned about with this ruling. One is that it's going to get appealed by the Trump administration, which could end up back at the Supreme Court again, who might put even further restrictions on class action lawsuits. The second thing is that I think the category of people that they're referring to here is pretty overly broad. So it includes not only children of illegal immigrants, but also unborn children. So there's a hypothetical class of people in this class action lawsuit, many of whom don't meet the procedural claim for a class action lawsuit of having common cause, because some of those unborn children will have parents that are removed from the country before this case gets decided. Some of them might not make it to full term. Some of them have parents who might get legal status in their interim. So I think by making this overly broad class of people, they've kind of put themselves in a legally tricky situation.
Yeah, I think it's overall the bigger issue is that it's unfortunate that the 14th Amendment is being sifted through in this way. It's like 150 years of precedent that we're kind of trying to nitpick through right now. And I think that we have to remember, like you said, the children that are unborn or just born here really didn't make these choices that their parents made, who may have come over here not through the right means or channels, but we say any American citizen born here is American. You know what I mean? Any citizen born here is American. I think that differentiating between those words is kind of like creating a permanent underclass, because now these people are going to be here, grow into adults that didn't make any choices of their own, and then be displaced permanently. And we don't have any solution to try to find a means to get them status here that would make them comfortable, especially with the slew of other immigration policies coming down the pike from the Trump administration. So I think we have to remember our goal is to get people integrated into society and working properly, contributing to our tax system, contributing to our country, but we're creating a situation where even people who didn't make a choice to come here are permanently held to some different standard, even though they're just trying to be contributing Americans once they are here by no choice of their own.
I think one of the things that the Supreme Court will look at is what the context of the 14th Amendment was at the time, which of course was intended to give the children of slaves citizenship in the United States, and what Senator Lyman Trumbull of Illinois said at the time, who was one of the principal figures in drafting the 14th Amendment. He said that the definition of subject to the jurisdiction thereof meant not owing allegiance to anyone else. And Senator Jacob Howard of Michigan, who was a sponsor of the clause, further clarified that the amendment explicitly excludes from citizenship persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens, or who belong to the families of ambassadors or foreign ministers. So that's going to be important context, I think, as the Supreme Court is looking at this Trump executive order.
For sure. We're going to be talking about this a lot more. So up next, the Trump administration is moving to end tuition for undocumented immigrants. Stay with us.